streaming Battlefield 1, and it was actually pretty funny. So I'm gonna mention it. This is my second attempt at starting this stream. It's the first time I not only fucked up my capture settings, but also introduced it as a Gundam Versus stream. Which is funny to me because I was just thinking about how I don't want people to think this is a Gundam Versus channel, so I should stream something different for once. Which is why I'm streaming Battlefield 1. And because it's one of the, like, 3 multiplayer games that I always default to. Anywho. So that was funny to me, at least. If my game would load here at any point, I could decide what maps I want to play on. So my instinct is to do what I have been doing and play on In the Name of the Tsar. But, with that said, I actually kind of hate, like, 2 out of 4 of the maps. Or 2 out of however... Oh, of course there's an update. If it's super fast, then I won't bother stopping the stream. Oh yeah, that's fine. You know, that's what I hate about when they have their own internal update system built into the game, rather than doing it through the goddamn Xbox system. Because on my Xbox, everything updates automatically, and I don't need to have this exact moment whenever I want to play a game. You know, in theory. Still happens. But at least on Xbox, it happens before, when I start up the game for the first time, rather than after I start the stream, because I always start it up and bring it to the start menu and then actually start doing things. And now we're gonna do this, where I know I'm connected to the internet. My Xbox knows I'm connected to the internet. Battlefield 1 refuses to acknowledge that I'm connected to the internet. While I'm on the subject, I hate the new Xbox One update. Like, it sucks. They made the little, that menu so much clunkier than it was before. Drives me insane. Drives me insane when they make backward steps like that just to say they did something. Kind of like sports games. Where, and this isn't always true, but it's true a lot of the time. Where, like, every year they'll be like, look, we improved this system, but they made every other system worse because they didn't pay any attention to it, and they sacrificed the other systems to make the one system better. But they do it just so they have something to talk about. My poster child for that is the NHL series, because the only sports games I really play. Oh, goody. I don't care. I'll start on the end of the song because I don't feel like thinking right now. I'll do a warm-up match or two. What was I going to say? But yeah, the only sports game to really play are hockey, and my classic case is starting on like NHL 2011. They had an amazing system. Like everything about the game is really, really good. The only thing that was lacking in any way, shape, or form maybe was the check system, the hits. And in NHL 2014, they were like, look, we made the hitting better, so it's more fun to use. And a lot of people who played it, myself included, were like, yeah, the hitting is better, but you dumb down the entire rest of the game. The puck handling system is fucked up. Every other system doesn't work as well as it used to. But you amped up the hitting to draw in casual fans, and so you could talk about how you amped up the hitting just to get people to buy it. I feel like a lot of games that come out like annually do that. Like I know Call of Duty does that. A lot of sports games do that. And to give credit where credit's due. Whereas Call of Duty tends to just be like, look, we added futuristic stuff, or look, as in this year's case, look, it's back to World War II. I'm gonna join a squad that has more than one person in it. I don't care if I'm not welcome. Oh yeah, it's my favorite map in this expansion. Yeah, actually use that gun. But anyways, they do these big PR things just so they can talk about it before the game comes out and divert attention away from any underlying issues the game might already have. With Call of Duty, the netcode problems, the general, not or mediocre gameplay, etc., etc., etc. The real reason Call of Duty's been getting worse over the years, not the futuristic stuff. So you can make a good game still using the futuristic Oh jeez. That didn't go well. It's kind of a personal issue for me. I hate so many companies do that crap with video games. Where it's like, we know the game still sucks, but look at the new one feature we added. That's been my issue with Assassin's Creed for several years. Which my issue with Assassin's Creed is long running, kind of petty. I used to be a huge Assassin's Creed fan back in the days like AC2 and AC Brotherhood. But when Revelations was announced, and it was like all they added was and the stuff where we could go back and play through stuff that's all the year. I was like, okay, but why would I spend $60 to get a hook blade and go back and play as Altair? Like, if I wanted to play as Altair, I'd pull out Assassin's Creed 1. And the hook blade is not enough for me to spend $60. And in preceding games, I kind of have the same feeling. I will say, I was impressed with Assassin's Creed 3, like doing all the America stuff, but I gave that one a try, and I didn't like the way they changed up the free running and I like the city designs. But other than that, it's actually a good game, and I've actually played a lot more of it since back then when I was, a kid, and the only money I got was from household chores and mowing lawns. And to me, $60 was $12. Oh, that was a dude. Didn't even see him. But now that I'm an adult and make my own money, and I mean, I won't lie, I work, part-time, making not minimum wage anymore, but not that much above it.
We have lost objective Charlie.
And also, since Assassin's Creed 3 was the game of the whole this year, I played a lot more Assassin's Creed 3. And I gotta say, I didn't give it enough credit at the time. It was pretty solid. But with that said, it didn't really change a lot. Like, it's a new setting, which is cool. But as far as the basic gameplay is concerned, it's 99.9% the same. And I won't lie, I haven't really touched Assassin's Creed 4 at all. But I have played Unity. And Unity, it was like, wow, this feels exactly like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. They've gone like 6 years without changing anything. Anyway, that's my whole beef with Assassin's Creed. But it's kind of the poster child to me for games that don't change anything year to year. They throw in like one new thing, harp on it for 6 months while the game's, in pre-release. Just to get people to buy it, and then people buy it and they're like, it's exactly the same. And it's like, yeah, that's why they only focused on, the hook blade that they added in. Or the, what was it, Assassin's Creed Unity, the Phantom Blade that they were going on and on about, where it's like a crossbow that shot your hidden blade. And I was like, that's literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Great. I normally like this map, but I normally like this map because I just pull up in the church and don't come out. So I just hang out there with a shotty. I've said this for a long time. I haven't said it right now. Assassin's Creed, Battlefield always shines the brightest in intense capture and defense scenarios. Which is why I like Rush so much, and I wish they would make a 64-player version of Rush. They kind of did in the form of Operations, and I actually really like Operations. If they had a better match, I would absolutely play the hell out of it. It's just so annoying to have to go in and out of a match in Operations. Because in Operations, like, best case scenario, you'll play 3 matches, and then you have to start over, get a new queue, and hope it's a good one, hope that the lobby has people in it, it makes it easier to just play Conquest or Rush. What I like about Operations is the best of both worlds. You get the player count of Conquest, but the objective of Rush is Rush. Anywho, moral of my whole rant is Call of Duty sports games, and at least until recently, when they announced they're not going to do the annual releases for Assassin's Creed, never really do enough to differentiate their games year to year, and they instead add one like big new feature and then focus on it intensely to get people interested. And it's kind of a marketing scam. If that makes it. I don't know what I was trying to say. It's like, for me right now, the issue that I kind of have, and I'm personally a little divided myself, is I want to say people should be excited for the new Call of Duty, because despite the fact that they're bringing back the World War II setting, it is still, you know, Call of Duty. They're not really going to change anything major. It's superficial. It's back to World War II, but it's still going to have the netcode issues that I hate, which for those of you who already know this, it seems like I'm trying to talk down to people, but I've talked to a lot of people who genuinely don't know about this. So I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not assuming you don't know, but in case of something you eventually watch this, because I know that you're talking about it. Call of Duty has a netcode system built in that intentionally adds in lag. So if you're ever playing Call of Duty and you're like, you go through a doorway or whatever, and then you die, and on the kill cam it's like, but what the hell, I was through the doorway, like how did he still shoot me? And when you look on the kill cam, you're not through the doorway yet, and you're like, what the fuck, I wasn't getting shot when I was out there, I was inside when I was getting shot. It's because of the built-in lag in the netcode. You're right, you were actually in the building, you were through the doorway, you should have been safe. But because of that netcode that intentionally adds in lag, on everybody else's screen, you aren't yet. And the entire point of it is so inexperienced, newer players can kill better players. That's literally the 100% point. And they've talked about it in interviews for Activision. It's there specifically to make it easier for inexperienced players to kill experienced players. That's my biggest issue with Call of Duty, is it has, and it's also stuff like the grenade launchers, like Claymores, like Final Stand, which I know a lot of that stuff's not in it. But a lot of that stuff was in it, again, to make it easier for inexperienced players to kill experienced players. Which is why it was like the bane of a lot of people's existence. And they were right to think that way about it. They were absolutely right to think of it that way. Because it's not fair. If I'm better than the other guy, I should win, you know, period. Unless he gets lucky or gets the drop on me or I make a mistake. But with that netcode built in, it's going to say like, well, no, because you got unlucky with the netcode, that guy's going to kill you.
Objective apples.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, jeez. That guy has got me so many times. I gotta kill him. What do I have? I have dynamite. Do I have dynamite? I should have AT. Actually, no, I like the dynamite. You can't run away from the dynamite. Well, you can. But I can detonate it faster than the only problem is where he is before he brutally kills him.
Halfway there, the enemy has the upper hand.
Son of a bitch! But what I used to like about Call of Duty is that it was competitive, that you could, you know, play competitively, play game battles, play tournaments and stuff like that. And it was a really good competitive game. And in my personal opinion, Black Ops began the death of Call of Duty, at least in my eyes. Because that was when they added it. There was a new neck that put in that lag. And lag is unavoidable, and it's going to happen, and there's always a little bit of lag associated with just network latency that you can't help. Just because, you know, somebody will be playing from, you know, South Carolina playing with somebody in, say, New York. Because they're both on the North American East Coast servers, and they're still like half the nation apart. Actually, that's not true. They're about a quarter of the nation apart. You know, I don't know if I've lost some of my gaming skills recently, but in until I started shooting like this, I could absolutely play this game and hold a full-fledged conversation with that game. Maybe just because there's somebody else talking back to me. But anyways. No, not bad. So I like totally lost my train of thought. Somebody roll back the tape. There's nobody to do that. Right. Competitiveness in Call of Duty. That's what I can do this! I believe! I was wrong to believe. I was wrong to believe in myself. Anywho, oh no, I was talking about how Call of Duty started dying with Black Ops. Because Black Ops both hit home on the, you know, this is just the same game over and over and over. Because, like, yeah, it was, you know, a different time period, it was in the 60s instead of Modern Warfare. Whoa. But I mean, aside from that, it was like the same exact game. And my kind of example for that is, back in Modern Warfare 2, I used to use the ACR. Which for those of you who didn't really play Modern Warfare 2 or don't remember, the ACR was a high rate of fire, high accuracy assault rifle. I would put on it a sight and a silencer usually. And eventually, as I got better at Call of Duty, it was like, yeah, putting the sight on is kind of dumb because it has decent iron sights, and using bling is a waste of a perk if all I'm doing is putting the sight on. So I switched to just a silencer. And then in Black Ops 2, or Black Ops 1, I'm sorry, I started using both the FAMAS and the AUG. With both the FAMAS and the AUG, I put a silencer on it. Actually, at first it was a sight and a silencer, but they got more used to their iron sights. I switched over to just a silencer for the FAMAS. The AUG, I actually needed a second because I hated the scope thing.
Вот им граната!
But, oh Jesus. But I realized, like, one day, like, oh my god, the FAMAS and the AUG are both high rate of fire, high accuracy, low damage assault rifles that I put silencers on. They're the AUG, or not the AUG, they're the, wow, they're the ACR from Modern Warfare 2. So I'm using the same gun as I would be in Modern Warfare 2. Why? I thought about it more. I was like, wow, I'm using the same perks, the same weapon, the same equipment as I would be in Modern Warfare 2. But I like the maps better in Modern Warfare 2.
We have lost objective apples.
So why am I playing Black Ops? Sold my copy of Black Ops, went back to Modern Warfare 2, was having more fun. And I was like, yeah, why the hell did I buy Black Ops? It sucked. Compared to Modern Warfare 2, or Black Ops 1. Damn it. Talking about Black Ops 1.
The enemy controls.
So when Modern Warfare 3 came out, this is also right after my whole thing with Assassin's Creed, and I was like, wow, Revelation's the same as Brotherhood. Why would I pay $60 off to buy it? And I was like, wow, Modern Warfare 3 looks exactly the same as Modern Warfare 2. Why would I pay $60 for it? But I didn't. The reviews came in and said it wasn't as good as Modern Warfare 2. And then I eventually played it a month later, and I was like, wow, the maps suck and the game's not as good as Modern Warfare 2. But I didn't buy it. But a friend talked me into buying Black Ops 2. And I was like, on one hand, I do like weapons and items better. But on the other hand, the maps suck. Like, there are a couple good ones, but a lot of them were like Spawn Camp City, a lot of them were Camping City, and it just wasn't fun. So I was like, why the hell am I playing this? And I kept playing because that's what my friends were playing, and I, you know, wanted to play with my friends, obviously. But I stopped playing seriously. I just started running around with twin pistols and going on rampages and kind of funnily, I got my highest kill streak ever doing that. I went on like a 42 kill streak using twin pistols, picking up my ammo from fallen knees from past lives to keep going. And I eventually ran out completely on my pistols. I used all my SMG ammo. When I ran out on that, I picked up somebody else's SMG. Used all their ammo, and so on and so forth. 42 kill streak. Just by doing that. My highest kill streak at the time was 7, because I was just dying every few seconds. Because because I was running around with twin pistols. Like, what did I expect? So it's kind of a wasted opportunity. But that was the only, like, fun I had in, wow, Black Ops 2. Wow, I just got wrecked. And Black Ops 2 was not playing seriously. So when, what was it, Ghosts came out, I ended up getting it. Ghost was next, right? Yes, Ghost was next. I ended up getting it for free because that was when I started game sharing with a friend. My friend still liked Call of Duty. So I was like, whatever. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it for free. I guess I'll play it. Yeah. And Ghost sucks. Like, straight up. And I think both the internet was Ghost straight up. It just wasn't good. And I don't even need to say more than that. Most people will agree with me on face value. And if you want to know more, I'm gonna be honest. Look up reviews. I'm not gonna talk about it. It just wasn't good. Deal with it. And Advanced Warfare, which I stand by this statement. I've made this statement several times. I made this statement on my last stream too. Advanced Warfare is the best Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. I 100% stand by this. And the reason why, and I 100% stand by this, is because for the first time in like 6 or 7 years, something like maybe five years, I think. Annual releases, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Ghost. So yeah, first time in 5 years, they actually added something revolutionary and new to the game in the form of the exosuits. So you could dodge laterally without having to like actually turn and run, or without having to sidle slowly. You could just jump, shoot left and right, dodge, which made it really easy to dodge grenades, rockets, like all the noob tubes that generally piss me off about old games. They made it easy for crappy players to kill good players. And then on top of that, if you learn to do it right, you could absolutely avoid switch too. I have one memory that's very fond, where I was at the end of a hallway, a very, very long hallway from a quickscoper. And I had an SMG, and I was like, I could hit him from here. While I'm standing still aiming, he'll probably shoot me. So I just started sprinting at him. Obviously he saw me coming because he was looking down the hallway at me. And as you may know, if you're a Call of Duty veteran, they make that little animation of like their arms moving up to put the rifle in front of their faces when people aim down the sights. It's especially true for sniper rifles. So I could tell when he was about to shoot because the rifle would come up. And all I would do, because I know the way the auto-targeting works, the aim assist works, is it would automatically zoom in on me as I charged at him. So all I did is every time he moved, as he moved but before he fired, because the auto-targeting starts when you first hit the trigger, the left trigger I should say, the aiming down the sights trigger. As soon as you hit the left trigger, the aiming starts. So if they move after that, you're kind of screwed. So all I do is every time I saw the rifle come up, I dash to the side and throw off his aim. The bullet would go past me, I'd be fine. And I ran down the entire hallway dodging his bullets because I knew how the exosystem worked and I knew how quickscoping worked. And I didn't even shoot him. I stood right in front of him. He was out of bullets, and I just punched him in the face. Because that was when they also started doing the punch melees, because he had the exosuit, so you were super strong. And I just punched him in the face and kept running. But for me, it was one of the highlights of that game, because it was like, look, I took, a quickscoper. Hey, look at that, 4th on the game, and I was having a bum game where I wasn't even paying attention. Or 4th on the team, I should say, not 4th on the game. So to me, that was like, look, this actual change that helped me to prevent one of the rage-inducing things that I normally had problems with, quickscoping. And I also learned how to do that to dodge, grenades and rocket launchers. And I was like, oh my god, noob tubes and quickscopers can't touch me. This is momentous. This is amazing. Like, this is a new age of Call of Duty. A better age of Call of Duty. And I started getting into it, and I was like, oh my god, drop shotting is useless too. Because if someone drop shots you, you just jump up, and then you can look down enough to shoot them, but they can't look up enough to hit you until they stand up. So anytime somebody drop shotted me, which drop shotting did get better after Black Ops 1, and that's like the one big thing that I'll be like, go Black Ops 1 for doing, is adding the dolphin dives, which eventually transitioned to the slides to make it so drop shotting was harder. So, you know, go Call of Duty, go Bethesda. Or go, what should I say? Go Black Ops and go Bethesda. Bethesda, wow. Treyarch made Black Ops. Bethesda made Skyrim. Wow. What the hell is going on? I'm ahead of it today. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's because I'm cutting back on my caffeine. Actually, I don't think that. That's not true. I'm pretty sure I've already had like twice as much caffeine as I promised myself I would today.
We have
Там штурмовик! Вижу разведчика неприятеля!
So it was like the first thing where it made like drop shopping like not a viable strategy. You could just jump up and kill you. And then camping is the only thing it didn't like straight up negate. But if you're good with the exosuit and you're a good player, a camper might only get you once. Because what you can do is, once you figure out where the camper was, and they killed you once, just go to the same place, but instead of walking around the corner like you normally would, dash around the corner instead, and it would throw off their aim, and throw off the auto targeting too, so it'd be easier to kill them. Sounds like the one thing where I was like, that's the one thing that I hate about Call of Duty that was still there. That and the net code. Yeah, and that's why I stand by. Advanced Warfare is the best Call of Duty. So it's pretty good guns. Not the best guns of the franchise, not even great guns. Pretty good. Like, I like the ASM-1, and too many people use the Bal 27. And it's kind of shocking to me that I still remember those guns, but I guess the Bal 27 was the one everybody used. And the ASM-1 was my favorite. And I actually did like the design system. The only thing I didn't like is how they were like god tier weapons you could get out of the mystery boxes. So it was like, oh, if you wanted to, you know, be really good, you wanted to have the best gun. And if you wanted to have the best gun, then you know, just spend $20 on loot boxes and get your Bal 27. I don't remember the special version for that, like an extended barrel. Or, no, it had full handles and full That was the only thing I didn't like. They were like god tier weapons that you get in loot boxes. But I liked the special weapon variant. Like, I liked trying to get the what do we call it? Bootlighter, I think it was. Variant of the ASM. That had like a drum bag and looked like a gangster style Tommy.
We have lost objective button.
I liked that they had variants of the guns that would actually meaningfully change their performance and weren't just cosmetic. The only thing I didn't like is I wish there were like you had to
We have
work,
lost
that you
objective
worked for
apples.
them, and that there weren't any that were like inherently better than all the others. Like the I still can't remember what it's called, but that one variant of the ASM-1 that everybody used. So basically, I liked all the changes they made in Advanced Warfare, and there was nothing except for the god tier weapon drops that I really didn't. And that's why I stand by that it's the best Call of Duty they've made since.
Сюда их танк ведет!
Anywho, Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 I hated. I absolutely hated Black Ops 3. It was like, you took all the good stuff of Advanced Warfare out, and you brought all the bad stuff from old games back. Plus, you took in some of the stuff from Destiny, like blatantly ripped it off, and didn't even make it good. Like, they had like all the characters who had unique abilities and shit.
Вижу танк!
You're just dumb. Just dumb. I think I Oh, Jesus God. I'm okay. Oh, don't heal me or anything. The guy who doesn't auto-heal. And has the giant fucking gun. Heal me. Oh, am I healing? Am I auto-healing? Oh, I forgot they added that. That's a relatively new feature. I'm gonna die. I don't even know what's shooting me. Well, you know, I'm boned. Because I'm going in anyway.
We have taken
I really like
objective
playing as a
apples.
sentry, so I don't really care if I lose it. May not be the most team-oriented approach, but I don't give a fuck. Look at that wreck. Oh, please don't kill me. Oh, please don't kill me. I want to live. Oh, come back here, you little bitch. He doesn't know I'm almost dead. He does. Yeah, Black Ops 3, didn't like anything about it. There were like 2 good maps in that whole game. I didn't like any of the others. I thought that like everything they changed for the worse. Like, and that's in my personal opinion, that's why everybody has like turned against the sci-fi stuff in Call of Duty. Like, I know a lot of people didn't like it from the get-go, but that's when I turned against it. It's because they took away the actual exosuit, which I actually thought actually worked great to actually shake up the game and make it more about skill than about corner camping. And changed it to like that stupid jetpack system, which is slow and ineffective. And it just slowed down the whole game. And then they added the wall running, which is their big gimmick that they wanted everybody to focus on. And, actually that's not true. They had a lot of gimmicks there.
We have taken objective butter.
Anyways, and then they like straight up ripped off the wall running Titanfall, which I've noticed Call of Duty's been ripping more and more stuff off lately. Like they were like, Battlefield went back to World War I this year. I think next year we'll have Call of Duty go to World War II. Which they say it was in development before that. And I actually believe that, but I'm still gonna say they ripped it off.
Ранили!
Why? Because I'm a spiteful son of a bitch. That's why. And I hate Activision. I do. It's true. They used to make good games, and now they're in the business of driving good games into the ground. What gun was I using? I think that's what I was.
We have lost objective Charlie.
Yeah, that sounds right. No, it doesn't. Well, I'm thinking of...
Берегись! Там разведчик!
Okay. Oh, thank you, teammate. I'll save you, friend.
Я тебя заштопаю!
I won't save you, friend. This is dangerous. Yep. That's right. Holy Jesus God, what's going on? I'll save you, buddy. We're in this together.
Ранили! Я тебе помогу!
Fuck you, you're on your own. Oh, I got you, fam.
Тебя подлечить?
Oh, jeez.
Аптечка! Подлечить!
This is the end. We're all gonna die in this hole. By all of us, I mean the 2 of us who are still here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that guy flew. Damn. Oh, hi, bud.
Да ты ранен!
Got you, fam.
Я тебя подлечу!
We're brothers.
Спасибо, Том.
We've been through too much in this hole together. Is that what it's like for 12 years? And also, it's not even funny.
Там штурмовик!
Oh, jeez.
Аптечка!
See, I like this. This is, in my opinion, The way Battlefield should be. We're having an actual heated fight over this objective. I'm kind of scared to leave my foxhole, but I'm still adding to the fray.
Аптечка, лови! Спасибо.
I hate the like open maps that encourage scatter.
We have
Like,
taken
no.
objective
You
Charlie.
should be focusing people on the objective. It's back in the hole. The hole is safe. Everywhere else is death. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Oh, maybe not. He's gone. My brother is gone! All is lost! Oh, that's a dude. That dude's not on my team. All I saw were friendly symbols over there. Yeah. So Black Ops 3, hated it. Hated everything about it. Infinite Warfare. Again, I think like Ghosts, I don't really need to say why I hated it, because I think most people are in agreement that it's bad. But I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways. They kept the shitty mobility system from Black Ops 3, which nobody liked. And then they were like, let's also make the maps tiny and small and shitty. And just make the game worse altogether. Like, add shitty guns, shitty maps, shitty mobility systems. And you know what? Let's focus on the campaign this year. I think that's what people really want. It's a good campaign. And I was like, on one hand, I respect their decision to make a good campaign for Call of Duty, because it's been lacking a good campaign for a while. Like, the campaigns recently have been okay. I would even say good. But I would actually say, like, I played the entire Infinite Warfare campaign. Because I actually was reading, before the game came out, that the campaign was actually good. People actually liked it. I gave it a shot, and I was like, that campaign was actually good. Made no sense, but it was pretty fun.
Вижу штурмовика фрица!
I feel like that emblem is a reference. My instinct is to say kill, I kill, but I highly doubt it. But it's definitely familiar. But it's definitely not kill, I kill. Well, my instinct is that it reminded me of Satsuki Kiryu, but it's definitely familiar, but it's not from kill, I kill. Sorry, sidetrack. Infinite Warfare sucks. I don't think I need to say too much more than that than what I've already said.
Немецкий штурмовик! Не спать!
It's also the fact that it's Call of Duty that kind of heralds. That's my prejudice. Right, I like this gun, but I hate the reloads.
Это же разведчик! Фрицы! Разведчик! Видите?
I suck.
Граната!
Should have
Все
had these
пригнуться!
guys. Did not hit him. Oh, I still not hit him. Alright, well, at least I know how I died. I've killed that guy 4 times. I feel a little bad. Well, you know. I think I have a squad boost. I do have a squad boost. It'd be nice to these guys. They've been a decent squad. They have not disintegrated at all. They actually have. But you know, it's not gonna be nice. I always feel like if you join a squad that has a squad boost, unless it's like the only squad available and you joined it, because if you join it just because of the squad boost, I feel like you owe it to the squad to give back a squad boost.
Вражеская кавалерия!
Wow. I feel bad that I didn't get that kill. Still that guy's kill. Did he die? He did die. I find it so hard to get excited for the games lately. Like couldn't even get excited for Cuphead. Cuphead is cool as fuck. So you got something
We have lost objective Edward.
at a moment of weakness, despite the fact that I'm currently broke as fuck. And I'll probably stream it probably next weekend. Unless something happens this weekend, and I end up with or this week, and I end up with extra time. I don't know how much I anticipate that, because I have to, you know, I have to work at the Call of Duty midnight release. Fuck you! Oh, somebody killed him. Oh, I was just throwing my grenade at him out of spite.
Halfway there, the enemy has the upper
I just came
hand.
here to get a couple kills with this pistol because I need it for a challenge. Pull my fucker. Oh, I missed the guy with every single shot. Damn it.
We have taken objective Charlie.
I even have trouble getting excited for Total War Warhammer 2, which I bought belatedly, admittedly. Again, because I couldn't get excited for it. And I love Total War Warhammer. Like, Total War Warhammer, I have over 200 hours on Steam. That's incredible for me. I'm mostly an Xbox gamer. So for me to go onto Steam for 200 hours and play it, and I'll admit that has something to do with the fact that it's on my laptop, so I can take it anywhere. And something to do with the fact that it was the main thing I played while I was, you know, recovering from cancer surgery. Which was like 2 months of sitting in a chair with one arm. So I couldn't play Xbox. Well, I could, but it hurt. Like, fuck. I did it anyways, because I had surgery the day Overwatch came out.
We have lost objective apples.
So I did it anyways, because I wanted to play Overwatch. But I gotta say, it hurt like a motherfucker. Which, context, you know, like, this is another thing I promised myself I'm not gonna talk about on the stream. It's too late for that now. I had to have several inches of my arm bone cut out and replaced with donor bone from a dead dude in Connecticut. Which, if by coincidence, like, that guy's family is listening to this, I just want to thank you and say sorry for your loss, because, I mean, he was 20. I mean, I was 19 at the time, so it would have really sucked to lose me. But I mean, that was kind of insensitive to say, and I apologize. He was 20 years old. That
We have
got
taken
something.
objective apples.
I know he was somebody's son. I'm actually tearing up a little right now. So I try to think about this. Be really quiet for a minute. Try to get myself in check. I also wanted to be known that even on the verge of tears, I'm still good at that.
We have lost objective butter. We have taken objective Duff.
Okay, I'm back. I got this. I'm okay. Anyways, point being, I had to have several inches of my upper arm bone taken out. I had to have my rotator cuff cut so you could put in the metal rod to hold that in. And they had to take out a lot of my skin. Not fun. On the bright side, I have a new nickname, Sharkbait, like Gigantor Scar. Looks a lot like a shark bite. How did I miss? How did I miss? That was bullshit. Anywho, so essentially I was sitting in a chair for the better part of 2 months, off work, and it was over summer vacation, so I had no school. And all I had to do was sit around and play video games. And I had to have surgery on my right arm, which for context, I'm left-handed. I was right-handed. Now I'm left-handed because I couldn't use my right arm for so long. It still kind of sucks. And that's a year and a half after surgery. Oh shit. Look at the end of me. Damn it. So I had my arm strapped across my chest, couldn't move it at all because it hurt so much. I had to have people to help me go to the bathroom.
We have
Because
taken objective
I had to
butter.
use my good hand to hold my bad arm because so it wouldn't move because that's how much it hurt. Like I had to hold onto my sling to keep it steady. Because if it moved at all, it was. I have no words. While I'm on the subject, morphine, 10 out of 10. Would do again. Because if nothing else, it got me through a filler arc on Fairy Tail, and for that, I'm grateful. Oh, the Kiyosari Heaven It makes me want to kill myself. But I watched it. I was on morphine for most of it, but I watched it. Never let it be said that I'm not dedicated to Natsu and Company. Anywho, one arm. Couldn't play Overwatch, even though it came out the day of my surgery. So I was home. All my friends were talking about Overwatch. All my friends were playing Overwatch. And I was like, you know what? It might hurt like fuck to use my right hand in any capacity, but I'm gonna do this. I like folded my left arm down to put my controller in my right hand without moving it, and just played in that really weird position. And I gotta say, it hurt so much, but it was worth it. I mean, there's a reason Overwatch got Game of the Year 2016.
Разведчик!
Wow, I suck. I suck. You're right.
We have lost objective Duff.
Anyway, so a lot of the hours that I have on Total War Warhammer are, I won't even say most of them. I'll say like, probably like 20, 30 hours, something like that. Yeah, I'll go high enough and say 50. Because, I mean, I had nothing to do. I watched all of Dragon Ball. Because I had actually never seen Dragon Ball. I had seen a couple episodes, but like, when I was growing up, Dragon Ball Z was airing for either the first or the second time on TV, but they didn't really air Dragon Ball anymore, so I never really seen it. I knew of it, and I knew like the basics of the story, like, you know, Goku's a kid, he discovers the Dragon Balls, fights in the martial arts tournament, he trains with Master Roshi, and he fights the Demon King Piccolo, who has a son, also named Piccolo, who eventually becomes Goku's ally in Dragon Ball Z. But I had never actually seen it. So I was like, I have all this time. I bought a Funimation membership just to do this, because they have all of... At the time, they had all of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT dubbed. And I was like, might as well. I have all the time on my hands. I won't be doing anything else. I don't really have money, or won't really have things to spend money on, because I won't be going out and doing things. So, you know, fuck it. I'll spend... It was, what, $7 on Funimation? I think it's changed since then. It was $7 a month at the time. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I pay more for that. Ooh, that was 100% wrong. Myself. Wrong to lose myself. So I watched all the Dragon Ball, and when I got bored of Dragon Ball or wanted to actively do something, or wanted to actively do something while watching Dragon Ball, which is frequently what I did, I would play Warhammer, because it was new, and I hadn't really played it, and I could play it one-handed. I had to admittedly flip my lap desk around, so it was in this really wonky position, and nothing worked the way it was supposed to. But the mouse pad was on the left, and that's all I needed. And it was really weird learning to click with my middle finger instead of using my pointer finger the right time.
Граната, берегись!
But I did it. I learned, and I got good at Total War Warhammer pretty quick. I'm a pretty big Total War fan. Never really been a Warhammer fan. Like, I thought Warhammer 40k was cool, but I never really got into it.
Тут медик!
I didn't really know too much about it. All I knew was, you know, Gigantor Space Marines fighting orcs and shit with chainsaw swords. But even then, that's not what Warhammer. Total Warhammer actually is. It's all, you know, magic and swords and shields and shit. And spears.
Это же разведчик! Фрицы!
But also orcs. Oh shit.
Вижу штурмовика противника!
I'm not gonna lie, that was raw though.
Тут медик!
That wasn't.
Это штурмовик противника!
Oh, there was that.
Вижу солдата!
That was someone.
Вражеский медик!
It's a damn shame. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I'm depressed or something. I can't really get excited for anything. Actually, not. I've been excited for Spider-Man ever since I saw Spider-Man Homecoming. Because I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, and I actually think it was pretty good. Not a great villain for Spider-Man, but I liked Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I liked the overall vibe of the movie. Didn't love, like, rookie Spider-Man. Like, it's a necessary step. I kind of like the Spider-Man who already knows what to do. He can make short work out of a pile of goons by messing up.
Вражеский разведчик!
Anywho, off topic. I can't get excited for games anymore. That's like my one passion. Actually, that's not entirely true. Now it's games and novels. Damn it, games and
We are
anime,
losing objective
which
Charlie.
inspired me to start building Gundam models because I'm a nerd. That's also what got me into streaming. So I mean, you know,
We are winning.
You knew that.
Вижу разведчика!
Damn, walk right into that. Oh my god, I'm streaming for an hour already. Damn. I'm kind of disappointed with myself, really. Actually, I'm kind of disappointed with the gaming industry. I mean, after E3, I was actually pretty excited. And as things have gone on, I was like, oh, everything I was excited for has been coming out for a while. And now that I look at it again, it's like, not really excited for it. No, please not Albion. The sad thing about Albion is it actually reminds me of Battlefield Bad Company, specific Battlefield Bad Company 2 map. I can't remember what it was called. It reminds me of Battlefield Bad Company 2 map. And it kind of sucks because I love that map, but I don't like Albion at all. I think it's bad. It's like I've said a couple times during the stream. I think Battlefield's at its best when it's like focused in one area when you have one high intensity like brawl going down. And Albion doesn't really brawl with that. Like occasionally you'll get that going on, like where everyone's fighting over one of the big cannons. But usually you don't really get that in that map. Like everything's too scattered. I was like, anytime a brawl starts to escalate in one area, people will just start scattering to other areas. Like, oh, you know, she's too contested. Like, wow, neat. We have best squad for kills, and I think it's not a coincidence that I was the top of our squad. See, guys, I told you I'm good at Battlefield. This is an off day for me too. I'm not really trying, and I'm distracted. Let me stroke my own ego a little bit more here. Alright, what do I want to do on this map? I'm thinking medic. How do I want it? One thing that throws me off the most about this game is in Bad Company 2. Wow, Bad Company 2. No. Battlefield 4. The button to customize your class is X and squads is Y. And in this game they flipped it. So it's like every time I play Battlefield 4 and come back to this one, there's a whole curve of me constantly accidentally opening the squads tab and I try to customize my class. I don't get it. I don't know why they made that change. I really don't. Makes no sense to me. It's like, oh, let's just fuck up all the Battlefield 4 players. It'd be really annoying. They'll constantly be accidentally opening the squads tab and they'll customize their logo outfit. It'll be hilarious.
We have taken objective.
I don't know if it's a problem with me or a problem with the game industry. My impulse is to say it's a problem with the game industry. But there's nothing like exciting. There's nothing cool coming out. Which again, part of it is technology's progressed to a point where it's a lot of stuff that before everyone would have flipped their shit over is now pretty normal. Like this game, for example. Like a lot of stuff in it looks real or near real. The gunplay is very, very tight. It's got a lot of cool vehicles. I was like, it's a good game, but that's nothing to like write home. It's nothing special. That's nothing on my team. I should mention that I'm a little colorblind. So with these little red circles, all that really sticks out to me is the little circles that they use now. I liked the old symbols and little tick marks they use in Battlefield 4. But these little circles,
Вражеский медик!
the
Видишь?
colors don't really stick out to me. It's just the symbols do. So all I see is like dark color, weird symbol. I think that guy's on the team. So if I ever see somebody with a symbol who's in a position that makes me think they might be my enemy, I always have to take like a test shot and see what happens. Like we get hit marker which goes through. Sometimes I know. Like sometimes they're pushing forward toward my buddies, taking cover. Then I know. Like, oh, that guy's clearly. Why is my latency high? My connection's almost always good. And I love how the hint in this thing about latency is not like, oh, you're lagging. Fix your connection, scrub. Which I think it should be. It's like, oh, your latency is high, you need to lead your shots more. Yeah, that's it. Like, no. The problem is their connection. It's not that they need to lead their shots more. They have a bad connection. So just say, like, look, you have a bad connection. It means people are going to be ahead of you. Which means that if you want to hit them, yeah, you might have to lead your shots. But it's a problem with your connection. I feel like it's very necessary to say. Because a lot of people don't know what latency is. And I say that as somebody who interacts with a lot of people who play games. That could happen. I guess I've only ever seen it really noticed it. Right? Or at least one time. He said, looking for trouble. Ooh, they're absolutely up here. Maybe not. Probably one. Oh, there he is.
We are losing objective buffer.
I remember you. I killed you a shitload of times last match. Time to restart the cycle. maybe not. Who knows? Who knows in this crazy mixed up world? Fuck. I think it's time to do some snipping. In case you're wondering, yes, I use the Idle skin because of the creative one.
Тут медик!
Damn. Damn it. Oh shit. Alright, I guess we're reversing the cycle instead of restarting it. I feel like everything that I used to get excited for isn't worth getting excited for anymore. Like, for context, I haven't really talked about this too much in any of these videos. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Halo fan. And honestly, like,
Вова,
but I don't like the new Star Wars
Фрицы!
movies at all. Like, I kind of like
солдата.
Force Awakens. But it was really just a rehash of episode. I think that's kind of dumb. Like, it's supposed to be a new movie, new trilogy, new everything.
Вижу врага!
And what was our first new thing? Oh, we redid episode 4, the original. And I'm like, on one hand, I'm glad that you didn't like go rogue and do something
Я тут
crazy.
на немца
And I like
смотрю.
I like the intro to the new world, the new Star Wars galaxy, I guess.
Вон он! Там солдат!
Damn it. Can't really see him. He's blending in with the background. But like, I feel like they didn't do anything with the new movie. And like, I'm not trying to say like I don't like a female character. I like Rey as a
We have
character,
taken
I do.
objective Darth.
And I like Daisy Ridley too. I think she plays Rey very, very well. There's one thing that drives me insane about episode 7. And it's that even when Luke knew he was a Jedi, even when Luke had undergone training as a Jedi, he couldn't like straight up overpower Palpatine and Darth Vader. And even then, like he admitted like he hasn't mastered his powers. He's still learning to use them. You know, he's not like a god tier Jedi. And Rey, who heard of the Force for like the very first time, like 20 minutes earlier, in the scene where she's getting interrogated by Kylo Ren. It's just suddenly she awakens like all of her Jedi powers. She even uses the Jedi mind trick, which in the context of the movie, doesn't even know about it. Like she's never even heard of the Jedi mind trick in the movie, at least if I'm not remembering wrong. And if it was just like the scene where she overpowered Kylo Ren, like I like that scene. I think it's good because it shows like she has incredible like raw untapped potential, and I like that. And I like that scene too. It's like she's totally raw but has so much more like brute strength than he does that she manages to overpower him, even though she has no idea what she's really doing. It's just like a contest of wills. She feels him pushing and just instinctively pushes back, and is so much stronger than him that she manages to, you know, push him out and overpower him and even start pushing back into him. And I actually love that scene. But then she like force and mind controls the stormtroopers, and she's like running around the whole place like using force powers and stuff like that, and it's like, no, like you don't learn to be a Jedi in 5 seconds. It took Luke a shitload of training to become like a novice. And And that was when he was training with Yoda, Dagobah. And with all that training, like, he fought Darth Vader and got his ass kicked, got his hand cut off. But he wasn't training for very long. Then he goes back and he trains. And it's like he can match Darth Vader in like a lightsaber battle and everything.
Вижу медика!
But like, he still doesn't have the strength to beat the Emperor and Darth Vader in like brute force. And it's like, I think that's where it's kind of dumb.
Смотри! Разведчик!
'Cause even after Luke's training, which I think it's like either 6 months or 2 years, like, I honestly don't remember, between episodes 5 and 6. Luke trains a bunch, and he's still like not a god tier Jedi like Rey is in Force Awakens. And Rey didn't train at all. She was just like, looks like I have force power. I'm gonna go nuts with him.
Обнаружен вражеский медик! Вон там! Медик!
That's like the biggest problem I had in that movie. I like Poe. I like Rey. I like Finn. No, I'm sorry. I confused Rey and Finn. I like Finn, and I love Rey. Like, I love Rey as a character. I love that she's like, you know, our empowered female character that the world needed or whatever. And I have no issues with her being a girl. My issue is the fact that like she goes like 0 to 100 with force power in like 5 minutes.
Не спать!
And that's what I have the issue with. Like, if it was just like the overpowering Kylo Ren and then she like runs off.
Разведчик! Видите?
Or if she like pushed Kylo Ren back and
We
like
have taken
exploded with
objective
force
butter.
power and ripped her bonds off. And then ran off and just like started hiding unsafely around the planet. I'd be cool with that. Like, the fact that she's like immediately like mind controls a stormtrooper. I know it's supposed to be the Jedi mind trick. It's like, that's not really how the Jedi mind trick works. Like, even in like the Clone Wars TV show and the books and the original movies, like, nobody ever like straight up controls somebody with the Jedi mind trick. Like, it's very sly. Like, turn a blind eye to this. Look the other way. Everything's fine here. Move along. Like, it's little nudges. It's not, let me go and give me your gun. That's not a little nudge. That's like straight up, like,
Вражеский медик!
control. It's supposed to be like diverting their focus away from what it is. And like in episode 4, for example, when Obi-Wan like tells the stormtrooper, the classic, these are not the droids you're looking for. It's, you know, checkpoint, guy's bored, talking to everybody, like, oh, do you guys have the droids you're looking for? No? Okay. So all he has to do is be like, yeah, we're just another group of people, we don't have the droids you're looking for, you're bored, you're easily distracted, you don't really care, these aren't the droids you're looking for, just let us move. But like, the guard in the cell, like, that's like the one thing he's not supposed to do, is let go of the prisoner and give her a gun. That's the one thing he's not supposed to do. I think he'd be focused enough to not do that. But she like straight up controls him. She's like, let me go, leave, give me your gun. Just don't.
Не спать! Тут пулемет!
Хорошо.
That's two dudes, actually. Oh, come on. How is that not a headshot? Okay, this guy didn't work. This was a very close match. It's the kind of match that I like. I don't like blowouts in this game.
Вражеский разведчик!
Unless it's a blowout that's like because they're fighting over one contested point in like a 3 objective map. Those are fun. Yeah, I don't have much of a beef with Force Awakens. Like my 2 issues with Force Awakens are, you know, it doesn't feel unique or original. It's just a rehash of episode 4. And I think Rey's whole, like, just spontaneously unleashing every force power imaginable, like a Jedi freaking master after, you know, using the force for the very first time 10 minutes earlier, is done. And the only other thing I don't like, and this is more of a, this isn't like a, I have an issue with the movie, this is a personal, like, I really wish this hadn't happened, but I have no, as a movie, I don't really have an issue with it. It's just like, aw, sad. And, you know, spoilers, if you haven't seen Force Awakens, it's been like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, it's going on 3 years since Force Awakens came out. So if you haven't seen Force Awakens, and that's your fault. You know, I'm about to spoil like, the biggest, I don't want to say plot twist, biggest event in the movie. I hate that Han Solo. It's like, I hate that Han Solo. It's like, Han Solo is probably my personal idol. I hate that he dies. Hate it so much. It makes me so sad. Like, when I saw that happen on that movie screen, in that movie theater, which also is noteworthy that I even went to the movie theater to see it, because I hate going to movies. I don't even know why. I think it's because I feel like I have to sit still for 2 hours to watch the movie.
Halfway there, we have the upper hand.
Anyways, when I watched that happen on that big screen, when I watched that lightsaber go through Han Solo, I didn't even care about the part where like Kylo Ren was the son of him. I was just like, Han Solo is dead, and now so am I. Han Solo is dead, and nothing will ever bring him back, and part of me died with him. I know there's the Han Solo movie coming out, but I mean, that's not Harrison Ford. It's not the same. Nobody else will ever be Han Solo. I don't care how many Han Solo movies they come out with whoever's playing Han Solo in the Solo movie. Nobody else is ever going to be Han Solo. It's always going to be Harrison Ford. And I'm actually a little upset because Harrison Ford has said in interviews before, like, it's just a movie, who cares? And I don't remember clearly or not. I'm pretty sure I read, like, when, around the time Episode 7 was coming out. And I think it was right after Episode 7 came out, people were talking about, like, the Han Solo death. And he was, like, hinting at it, that something's going to happen in the movie. Because they talked about how they, his contract was only for Episode 7. It wasn't for any of the other movies. So everyone was like, oh, Han's probably going to die in the movie. And like, that was a theory that was floating around. And then they debunked it. And I was like, no, we signed up for all 3 movies. It's fine. But it turned out to just be like, they were just throwing people off. So it wouldn't spoil that Han was going to die.
We are losing objective butter.
And like he said in an interview, like, well, you know, it's just a movie. And I had read previously that Han Solo, like, Han Solo, wow. Harrison, just like how I always refer to fucking Robert Downey Jr. as he had said apparently in an interview several years before that he didn't really like being in Star Wars.
We are losing.
And he kind of hated it, and he hated like people coming up and asking him about it and stuff like that. And I don't know if this is necessarily true. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I may or may not have possibly read this, assuming I'm not making this up at some point in my brain somewhere. I think I read this. I'm not intentionally lying, but it's possible that I could be wrong. So take things with a grain of salt. But I think I read somewhere that, and I know this part's true, that he loves doing the Indiana Jones movies, which is why he did Indy 4, the King of the Crystal Skull. But he, again, supposedly I read this. Don't take it with a grain of salt, because it's possible that I'm remembering incorrectly. But I thought I read somewhere that he had said that he actually hated being in Star Wars. Like, he hated Star Wars. He hated when fans asked him about it because he hated being in the movie so much. And he only, like, did the first one because he needed the money at the time. And then after that, it was like, I think either he still needed the money or because of the contract, or because he signed a contract or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to say.
An objective butter.
But he had said, like, he didn't like being in Star Wars, and he kind of wished he had never done it.
We have lost objective Charlie.
But then, with that also said, in an interview, like, after Episode 7 came out, and it was it was like a couple weeks after episode 7 came out, so they gave people like time to see the movies.
Штурмовика противника!
When they were talking about like how Han Solo died and how he wouldn't be in the movies anymore, he talked about how like he actually did like being in Star Wars. Like he even mentioned like if I'm remembering this one correctly, I think he even mentioned like how he had said he didn't like being in Star Wars before. But he was like, you know, with that said, like Mark Hamill and oh god, I can't remember. That's really upsetting. Oh god, what's her name? Oh god, okay. You know, I gotta stop this. Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue and I cannot remember it. Oh my god. Carrie Fisher. I didn't have to remember that. I remember. I'm not a terrible human being. I actually talked about how like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher were like kind of his family, and like he loved them, and like they were his friends. So even though like he wasn't as fond of Star Wars as he was with like Indiana Jones or some of his other works, he realized like, you know, as much as I'm not as fond of Star Wars, I am fond of my fellow cast members. I am fond of the effect it's had, and I am fond of a lot of things about Star Wars. So I might not have liked the movie on paper. I do like everything that's come about because of it. So I do actually like Star Wars. I am actually going to miss working on it. And I was like, I don't care if she just said that for PR reasons or what, but I'm taking it. I'm taking it. He said he likes Star Wars, and I'm taking it. That was luck. Ah! Fire bad!
We have taken objective Duff.
I know grenades. My point being, like, nobody's ever going to replace Harrison Ford as Han Solo. No one's ever going to be able to patch that hole in my heart where Han Solo was. But now he's dead. Nothing. Nothing at all. Just go. I know, I'll never be the same. I'm dead inside. Oh,
An enemy armored train is en route.
Rip me.
We control all objectives.
Enemy armored train, you say? I want to go on record saying I don't normally use a crossbow launcher. It's just for a challenge. I do, however, love me some limpet charges.
A sentry kit is available near your location.
Oh, limpet charges are my favorite in this game. I love them so much. That was definitely my favorite equipment in the entire game. Run for it!
We have lost objective Charlie.
My support is definitely my favorite back in the class. I don't care what anybody says about it. And as far as the actual Star Wars movie go, I like it. So that's my thing with Rogue One. Force Awakens is I don't love the unoriginal plot. And I don't love. Actually, I hate the whole thing where Rey just like is suddenly a Jedi Master out of nowhere.
An enemy
and
armored
I
train
honestly
has
hate
arrived.
that. You know, spoilers. That Han Solo dies. But that's not like I think that was a bad design choice. It's just it makes me sad. However, Rogue One. Oh, so many things to say about Rogue One. The first thing I want to say, because every time I say I don't like Rogue One, I get I'm like, what? But Rogue One was an amazing movie. Yes, Rogue One is a good movie. Rogue One is absolutely a good movie. I'm not contesting that. It is, however, a bad Star Wars. There's a lot of Star Wars things that they messed up on. Namely the fact that Rogue One doesn't really fit into the existing continuity.
We are losing objective butter.
I know a lot of people say, like, oh, it's the, you know, it's the story of how they got the Death Star plans. I was like, yeah, but aside from that, it doesn't really fit. Oh, jeez. Like, and again, I will say, like, up until like the last, I think it's like the last 20 minutes or so, it's a good movie, both in terms of Star Wars and in terms of movies. And I actually really like it. I like the Darth Vader scene at the end. I like the like sneaking around and taking out stormtroopers in that city. It's all really, really good, and I really like it. The problem that I have is with like that last 20 minutes, how, and they even establish in they don't directly mention it, but they imply in episode 4 that they sneakily stole the Death Star plans. And in Rogue One, it starts out perfect. Like, they're sneaking in, they have a distraction, they have a plan to get out. They snuck in with a stolen Imperial shuttle, even though that was kind of directly with that episode 6. It still works. But they sneak in, they get the plans, they're trying to sneak out with them, you know, etc., etc. At least that's the plan. And like, everything's going great, and I actually approve of the movie up through that point. But then when the rebels are just suddenly like, they need help, let's send our entire gigantic space fleet to help them, it's just kind of really dumb. Because the logical next step of getting the Death Star plans is actually taking out the Death Star.
Objective Charlie.
Which, you know, logically speaking, wouldn't you want a gigantic space fleet to do that? You know, and if stealth mission definitely had a better chance of succeeding than a full-on assault. They directly mention
We have lost.
that there's a whole gigantic Imperial fleet guarding that place. And so it would make a lot more sense to do, you know, the stealth mission to sneak the plans out rather than do an overt assault and try to like smash and grab the plans. So it really doesn't make sense to me that the rebels would throw this gigantic space fleet at the Empire there, because it's dumb. It's just dumb. Like, it doesn't make tactical sense. And the whole, like, one of the overarching messages of, like, the rebellion versus the Empire is the rebellion won via superior tactics, guerrilla strikes, and hope. I do like that that Rogue One focuses on that hope message.
We have taken objective Duff.
I mean, rebellions are built on hope. It's a great line. It really doesn't make sense that they would throw this entire fleet at Scarif, especially when they said like several times, like, you cannot go after the Death Star plans because it's not going to go well. And they still let the whole fleet go. And it's like, what the hell? That's gonna be the last match for the night. I just want to finish my thought here. Actually, I do want to see the leaderboard stuff. So it really doesn't make sense as a rebellion to throw this entire fleet into the fray, get it all blown up, and then take on the Death Star using 12 X-Wings and 3 Y-Wings. And the canon of Episode 4, I don't directly say this in Episode 4, but it's established in the surrounding like books and stuff like that, which admittedly a lot of that stuff's not canon anymore, so it kind of doesn't matter. But it's still canon to me. I had a bad match foul. But it's established that the reason, and it makes sense in context of Rogue One, which is why I'm saying it should still be canon. But they're saying that the reason why they go after the Death Star with 12 X-Wings and 3 Y-Wings instead of like a space fleet isn't because, you know, they feel like, you know, 12 X-Wings are a match for the Death Star. They'll be able to exploit the weak point. It's because that's all they have, and it's like, because that's all we know their weakness, we have a chance. So let's go after it. It's our only hope. And so they do, and they succeed, and, you know, it's Episode 4. We all know and love it. And it's like, okay, logical steps of of taking out the Death Star. Number one, get the plans. Number two, blow up the Death Star. Now, I have to say, wouldn't you want a giant space fleet to fight the Death Star with? Doesn't that make sense? Like, wouldn't you rather, instead of going after it with 15 tiny ships, go after it with a whole gigantic space fleet? If nothing else, because the whole gigantic space fleet will distract the crew of the Death Star, while the, 12 X-Wings go in and blow it up. And that's just my mentality there. And also, but the other thing that doesn't make sense to me, it's like these two big plot points. And if they weren't such big plot points, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But it's like, the whole reason that giant space fleet goes there is because they wanted in the movie to have a giant space battle. But it doesn't actually fit in the plot. It doesn't fit in the context of the movie. It doesn't fit in the context of the other movies. And on one hand, I get it because they wanted to, kill off the entire cast, so they wouldn't have to answer like, "Oh, where was Jyn Erso?" Oh, spoilers, by the way. Yeah. But honestly, I saw it coming. When I sat down in the theater, I saw it coming. I was like, everyone in this movie is gonna die. And they pretty much do. Pretty much every single person in that movie dies in that movie, except for the people who are in like one scene. But actually, I'm thinking about it. Every single character in more than one scene dies. Actually, that might not be true. I think the Rebel Council leaders are in two scenes. Because there's like the scene where they actually tell him like, nope, you cannot attack Scarif. And then there's like the scene where they're like, oh, the Admiral what's his face should win to attack Scarif. It's like, well, fuck. Anyways. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense for there to be a space battle. And we all know it was just there to be a visual spectacle and sell tickets. The other thing that doesn't make sense is at the very end of the giant space battle. First of all, why was Princess Leia even there? Doesn't make any sense at all. She's like a diplomat. She's not a military commander, at least not at that point of the storyline. And secondly, because Darth Vader literally watches her ship get the plans and leave, like he's literally steps away from the guy who puts the plans on the ship, then there's no real context for why they have the whole conversation in episode 4 of like, I know you have the plans, give them to me now. He's like, what are you talking about? This is a diplomatic ship to Alderaan. There's no plausible deniability in the Rogue One storyline. It's like, I literally watched you get the plans. Like, you can't hide that from me. Like, I literally saw it. Where are the plans? Whereas, if you pretend Rogue One doesn't exist, there's plausible deniability because all we know about, the Tantive 4, which is Princess Leia's ship at the beginning of episode 4, is that, it's just flying around and it's under attack by a Star Destroyer. We don't know anything else about it. We don't know how they got the plans. We don't know why Darth Vader thinks they have the plans. We can assume that, some spy, whether it was an Imperial spy or Rebel spy that was captured, told Darth Vader, like, oh yeah, that ship has the plans. And Darth Vader, runs it down and is like, basically my intel says that you have the plans, but I don't actually know that for a fact. So Princess Leia can be like, what are you talking about? We don't have the plans. You're crazy. Whereas in the Rogue One storyline, there's zero plausible deniability. Zero. Like, I don't know why she feeds him what are you talking about? This is a diplomatic mission to Alderaan. If she knows that he literally watched her take the plans. In that case, it should just be like, she spits in his face and it's like, I'll never talk. Because she should know that there's no chance of that bluff working. Because he literally watched her ship take the plans. There's no point in lying to him. He knows. Anywho, that's my 2 cents on the issue, and I've been ranting about it for a while, and I do apologize for that. I need to work on that. But if you liked my ranting, or if you thought I was good at Battlefield and wanted to play it again, or any other game really, I try to stream on Fridays and Saturdays. Honestly, I'm going to be totally honest, I haven't been good about doing it on Fridays and Saturdays, but I guarantee I'll do it on one of the two. So, I mean, if you check in Saturday night, there should either be a recording up or a stream live. Or if you follow me, wink, wink, you can get notifications when I go live. Just saying. assuming I understand Twitch correctly. I'm still pretty new to it. So if I don't understand Twitch correctly and that was not correct, I'm sorry. Please message me if I haven't already corrected myself in a later video. Or if I have, because I've noted that if you're watching this video, either you've already seen other videos and you already know I've corrected myself, or you haven't, and you probably won't watch it. At least not right now. Maybe you will in the future, hopefully. Hey, please. Please. I'll do that. Anyways, so if you like it, check back in on Fridays and or Saturdays, or on the, what I like to call, whenever the hell I feel like it's scheduled, which is like, oh, on Tuesday, my class let out early, and I didn't have to work, and I was bored, so I thought I'd stream for an hour. Because I do that. Other than that, if you ever want me to play a specific game of, because I know I've streamed a shitload of Gundam Versus. If you ever want, like, stop streaming nerd anime games and stream something cool like Battlefield, you know, obviously I'm down for that. But I will never, ever, ever stream Call of Duty. Or maybe I will. I haven't been good about keeping my promises to myself about streaming. Case in point, I talked about my surgery, which I promised to myself I would not do on the stream. But, you know, if you ever want to see a specific game, shoot me a message, leave me a comment, you know, whatever. I have notifications set up where anytime anybody interacts with my channel at all, ribbons and streamers fly up everywhere of like, somebody noticed me. Anyways, if you like what you saw, check back in on Fridays and Saturdays. Throw me a follow if you want. I definitely appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos that are already on this channel. And keep an eye out for future ones. And if there's anything specific you want to see me play, give me a message. And if I have the means to play it without great expense to myself, I absolutely will. So I'm going to be totally honest, and I try to talk about this on streams because a lot of people respond negatively to it. At the moment, at least, I work for GameStop, and I can pretty much acquire any game that I need to and play it at least for a day. So there's a game that's been out for a while, and there's used copies hanging about. I can usually borrow one. And if it's a game that I already have, I'll absolutely buy it, or if it's on sale, or if it's not very expensive. So like, for example, I bought Cuphead on a whim, even though I'm broke, because it's only $20. So like, it's cool, which I'll probably end up streaming that either sometime this week if I have free time, or next weekend. Yeah, so that's it for me tonight. Have a good night, day, whatever time period it is that you're watching this video, because I know no one's watching it live. Sad face. Single tear. That's it for me. Have a good period of time.